What is anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism, simply put, is Jew hatred. It's a form of racism, prejudice, and discrimination, but it's not that simple. You see, anti-Semitism is a shape-shifting conspiracy theory that falsely portrays Jews with exaggerated and often mythical characteristics. Anti-Semitism is one of the oldest forms of hate and discrimination that is still being practiced. The term anti-Semitism was first coined in the late 19th century by a German writer named Wilhelm Marr. Marr used the term in his political writings to justify his disdain for Jews, disguising his prejudice with what he claimed was a scientific rationale. The word combined anti with Semite, a term that referred to a group of languages, including Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic. But Marr wasn't targeting all Semitic-speaking people. He was specifically singling out Jews. Anti-Semitism is only Jew hatred. As a single, unhyphenated word, anti-Semitism came to represent hatred towards Jews as a group, not just for their religion, but for their ethnicity, culture, race, and perceived influence. By giving an ancient hatred a modern name, Marr and others like him tried to make anti-Semitism seem natural and rational, even acceptable, in a time where religious bigotry was becoming less acceptable in Europe. But while the word anti-Semitism was coined in the late 19th century, the hatred it describes is far older. In ancient times, Jewish communities were often targeted for their refusal to conform to the norm of the dominant culture. In the Greco-Roman era, Jews were seen as different for worshiping one God, refusing to participate in polytheistic rituals, and maintaining their unique traditions. This defiance of assimilation earned them suspicion and hostility, often leading to violent crackdowns. These crackdowns became known as pogroms. In 70 AD, the Roman Empire destroyed the Second Temple and Jerusalem and expelled many Jews from their homeland. This marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora, communities of Jews living outside of the land of Israel. Even as Jews adapted to new lands, their distinct identities sometimes didn't fit in, making them targets of discrimination and violence. With the rise of Christianity, a new form of anti-Semitism emerged, portraying Jews as villains, most notably as Christ killers. This label was weaponized and fueled centuries of bloodshed. During the Middle Ages, these accusations evolved into systematic discrimination and horrific allegations, including the blood libel. The first record of the anti-Semitic blood libel occurred in 1144 when a 12-year-old boy named William was found murdered in Norwich, England. Without any evidence, local Jews were falsely accused of torturing and killing him in a ritualistic manner. This baseless claim that Jews were bloodthirsty killers fueled an anti-Semitic stereotype that continues through today. During this period, Jews were segregated into ghettos, barred from owning land, and forced into professions like money lending, one of the few livelihoods available to them. These restrictions fueled new anti-Semitic stereotypes, portraying Jews as greedy and conniving. They were even believed to possess mythological, almost supernatural evil powers. Jews were blamed for plagues, natural disasters, economic downturns, even the weather. I had no idea I had these powers. No idea. As societies became more secular during the Enlightenment era that swept over Europe in the 17th and 18th century, religious-based anti-Semitism began to fade. But Jew hatred didn't disappear. Instead, it mutated, shapeshifted. Jews were no longer targeted solely for their religious beliefs, but were redefined as a race. Pseudoscientific theories in the 18th and 19th century falsely categorized Jews as biologically different, portraying them as threats to national unity and progress. This racial anti-Semitism ultimately led to the Holocaust, where Nazi Germany used centuries of myths and stereotypes to justify the systematic murder of 6 million Jews. The Holocaust wasn't just an isolated event, it was the culmination of a long history of dehumanization and scapegoating. Anti-Semitism is like a virus. When one form becomes unacceptable, it shifts to another. Today, in a time when discrimination against religion or race is obviously frowned upon, anti-Semitism mutated yet again. It now targets key aspects of Jewish identity, such as the State of Israel and Zionism. We'll get to that later. Throughout history, Jews have been blamed for everything. being too rich and too poor, too religious, too secular, too progressive, too conservative, too capitalist, too communist, anything and everything. And anti-Semitism doesn't stop with the Jews. When a society fails to protect its Jewish minority, it signals a deeper problem, an erosion of the values that hold us together. Anti-Semitism is often described as the canary in the coal mine, just as miners used canary birds to detect deadly gases, warning them when the air wasn't safe. Anti-Semitism serves as a warning. When it takes root, it points to broader societal issues: rising intolerance, scapegoating, propaganda, and the breakdown of democratic values. So, what is anti-Semitism? It's the hatred of the Jewish people, a prejudice that shapeshifts and evolves, adapting to the times, but always leading to the same outcome: marginalization, persecution, and violence against the Jews.